Oh la la! Hi everyone and welcome for another episode of the Puppet Podcast. We are acting at 31. It's going well this week and we have like another duo. Yesterday was a duo with a ventriloquist, so tonight we have CactusHead Puppets Theater there from the US area. So I will bring them in the screen. Please welcome CactusHead Puppets.
Hi!
Thank you very much to be part of the podcast.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, so we have to say that we met each other at Puppet Show Place before.
Yes.
So,
yes, we were at the end of your...
Yeah, my residence. I was there last year in March. Not this year, the other March, and we met there. And for the one who don't know the Puppet Show Place, it's a little theater, really wonderful in Boston. So you can go to click the website and you could see some of your performance also at Show Place.
Oh yes, we're going to be doing a live show there. Not this weekend, but the weekend after. We'll be doing Pied Piper
show. So.
I saw Pied Piper. I love it. So stay tuned to know more about this show. So could you introduce more about your company to the podcast? Some like when you start and...
Sure. Do you want to...
Yeah. So I'm Megan and this is John.
I'm John.
And we are married. We are CactusHead Puppets and we started performing together about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the things that we do are shows for family audiences, but we also do a puppet slam once a year locally and have helped with puppets for bigger productions and things like that as well.
Sometimes we'll make puppets for other people if they pay us money, you know. But yeah, I mean, like we both went to college together. We both went to the University of Connecticut's puppet program, but it was about 10 years ago that we became like a company. Puppets. And we do a lot of libraries and that sort of thing, the occasional school, but mostly libraries.
That's amazing. So you build puppet and you perform and you do everything.
Yes.
Yeah. That's like my favorite part.
Yeah. So we do, we come up with the ideas. Most of our shows are based off of fairy tales or folk tales or something like that. But we come up with the ideas. We build the puppets. We perform the shows. You mentioned the Show Place. They have been wonderful in supporting us and being part of their incubator program.
Yes.
And helping us develop new work that way. Sort of being the outside eye and giving feedback and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the majority of what we do is develop shows and tour around and present them. So.
And speaking of the Show Place, we actually both interned there back in, I think I interned in 2002, you interned in 2003?
Something like that.
Yeah. So it was interesting. So it was there right at the beginning of my career, and then I just didn't go back for a long time. And then 10 years ago, we were like, oh no. When did we first collaborate with the Show Place?
I think that was about 5 or 6 years
5
ago.
or 6, yeah. Okay.
Whoa, I love to know all the story detail. It's kind of, and to be a couple in that, I find it really wonderful. It's really
we're very lucky in that we work really well together.
Yeah, it's really nice to have such a great working relationship, and it also, being a puppeteer and starting something out, it required a lot of time and things, and it's really easy to schedule that and just toss ideas around with someone that you live with as well.
Yes.
So
it's very easy to get a hold of each other.
Yes, exactly.
When we're working on a project.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great. That's great to make it work and to be creative at the same time. My first question is always deep, but it's simple at the same time. It's what make the art of puppetry an art that you cherish?
So I can go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I can go first. I've always appreciated how real it is, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Like the fact that there are real solid things in front of you and that like they're moving and they're performing and like they're not real, but they are in that moment. They're alive, they're doing things. And I love how it's totally unlimited. Like you can make a puppet do or be anything you want. My body doesn't have to do much of anything. I just let the puppets do things. But yeah, I think sort of just how many possibilities there are. It's very, very out there. I like it.
Yes.
Yes. I also similarly, I love just how engaging it is when you watch it. I'm always, anytime I'm watching a puppet show, I'm transported into that world and I'm buying it as real and that kind of thing. And then just in a process manner, I love the figuring out the way to do the thing that you want to do. So much of being a puppeteer, there are traditional puppet styles and things like that you begin with, but if you want to figure out how to make your puppet jump or it's all a new discovery process every time you're developing a show. And I really love that personally as an artist, that whole I have an idea, but I now need to figure out a new way to execute that.
Yes.
So
like you've solved a puzzle.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Puzzle and freedom. That's a great.
Yeah.
Great
and I also, sort of recently, I'm realizing I really enjoy how much of it's like performance at a slight remove. So like you're able to perform and get out ideas, but I'm not out there. So I appreciate the like, what's the word?
The distance, like kind of
distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like be behind objectively, maybe. Like
Yes, it's like the audience knows I'm there. I know I'm here, but let's pretend I'm not there.
I like that. And just to let you know, we have people here watching the show from Mexico, England, and North Carolina. So hi, Thomas, Aline, and Darlene. Hi, everyone. And you can be free to just write down from where you are so we can know, because it's so international and I love it.
Excellent.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so my next question, let's jump into the crush. I want to know how and when your crush for puppetry happened.
Yes. So I'll start, I guess. So I mean, I loved puppet shows as a child, but my crush of sort of becoming a puppeteer started when I was in high school. I was taking an independent study class, and I decided I was going to look into puppetry. And I found the Fettig book with all the amazing rod puppet control plans and things like that in my high school library. And I just was like, oh my goodness, This is so exciting. There are so many amazing options here. And from that, I contacted Paul Messner Puppet Theater, which is now Messner Puppet Theater in Kansas City, where I lived. And I had seen their shows growing up. And then I started an internship there, and it just like spiraled from there. I, learned more and loved my experience there, and ended up going to college for it. But that was my start, my crush on puppets. So
I love it.
And mine, if I may, it's weird. I fell in love with puppets at a very young age. Like there were few puppets I would go to, or puppet shows that would my brain fell apart. Sorry. I saw a lot of puppet shows at local libraries when I was a kid. Really amazing hand puppetry shows that like I totally forgot about until like many, many years later. And I met the people who performed those shows, which was weird and exciting. But like I'd always liked the Muppets and that sort of thing, but was always like, well, but that's a thing that no one does. Like, who's the puppeteer? And then I was looking at colleges, and I went to, I just happened to go to UConn with the University of Connecticut, has a puppet arts program. And I was like, well, we might as well go check that out. I went with my dad, and I walked down, and it was just like this sea of eyeballs and mechanisms and weirdos and fur, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what I want. I need to be a part of this, whatever this is. And then from then on, I was like, yep, puppets, let's do it.
I like it. It's so like, I think we like to be different also as puppeteer.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, oh, these people are also very weird.
I like that. We have something special. We see some stuff, like we see motion into things that don't move. So and as you have done UConn University, I want to ask you also, in your opinion, what would be the best field of study for someone who wants to become a puppeteer? Because we know it's kind of a tricky discussion. Does we take the university? People come from every path. So what is your opinion on that?
You know, I think puppetry as a field really benefits from people coming from different disciplines and becoming puppeteers. You know, the University of Connecticut is great because it's a sort of a dedicated program. Where you have, you know, whether you're there for your undergraduate or graduate, you know, you're there for a chunk of time and you really get to focus. And that's been wonderful for us. But also it's so wonderful to learn from other puppeteers who come in from, you know, different disciplines, whether they come in from filmmaking and become a puppeteer, or musicians who've become
or dance.
Yeah, everybody brings a little bit of something, and since puppetry is such a multidisciplinary art form, I think we all really benefit, you know, different paths to get there, and then sharing all that knowledge.
I don't think there is a best background for puppetry. I think it's so weird and open that, like, man, everybody come in, you know, it's great. If you're looking for like a leg up, anything, if you're a performer, any sort of movement, you know, is helpful. Like if you're a dancer or other people who move professionally, I don't know. But then also, like, if you want to build puppets, you know, there's people who are painters and they can do these amazing things. And
yes, true. Like, people draw. Yeah, we see many, like, now also on the screen, like 2D character, beautiful draw. It's really
people who are amazing at, like, you know, paper art, and that transfers so well to shadow puppetry. Like those sort of like 2D images and the depth you can get, and
we are passionate. It's a passionate show. We need to spread that passion to the audience right there on this live. So do you have like your definition? Maybe as a company, when someone asks you like, what is a puppet for you? You have your own definition?
I can go first.
Yeah, go first.
All right. I mean, I've got a real loose definition. Basically, anytime you're taking an inanimate object and you're animating it, right? If you're taking something and you're putting some sort of character into it, that's puppetry, right? So whether it's, I mean, you know, mask falls into that and all sorts of things. But yeah, anytime you take an object that's not alive and you make it look like it is, that's puppetry.
I like it. It's simple, but it's total.
Yeah. I would agree. I don't know if I have any differences to add to that. You know,
I mean, there's different styles of puppetry that have more specific things, but
I think that's, and it, you know, sort of encompasses, I think, what everything a puppet can be. So
it's philosophical also. It could be so much stuff, and I agree.
Yeah, and like, why would you want to narrow it down to a specific thing? You know, that's half the fun, is that like anything can become a puppet. I love like taking time to like really build a puppet. You know, like designing it and building it and making it. Oftentimes, Megan will paint them and sculpt them, but I also love just taking one object and bringing it to life. Like totally different, but it's the same sort of thing.
Engagement, totally. It's so much an engagement, and it's a great answer. And I want to also ask about our art. because we love it. We are kind of a community. We have like people who join right now, and it's kind of, I want to wish that it's going up in an ascension. But in your opinion, do you think we are in a golden age of puppetry, or it's something who comes always as a cycle, or what is your opinion about the popularity of it?
Yeah, I think it's fairly popular right now. You know, a lot of, you know, more traditional stage shows have started incorporating puppetry into their work more. So I think that is an area that is growing.
I think that has a lot to do with, we were very in love with like computer effects and, you know, myself included, and like trying to have as little real things as possible, you know, just creating these vast digital worlds, which again, I'm a big fan of, but like, I think people are sort of coming back around. They're like, okay, but can we have some real things now? Can we see? Oh, my brain fell apart again.
Yeah.
I've been in my apartment for like
too much passion, too much.
Yeah. Like just,
my set fall apart.
yeah, and it's hard to say because like I see puppetry everywhere, but I'm a puppeteer, so I don't know like the public's view of puppetry. But I think, at least in theater, it's on an upswing. I think people are like, oh, you can do amazing things with puppetry, and it's not just for children. Yeah. And I say that as someone who we do almost exclusively children's puppetry, but it's so much more than that. And I think people are recognizing that, at least in America.
Yeah, I think sometimes we have part of an education to do. Even with my boyfriend, I told him, like, you remember when we were a kids, like the Ninja Turtle, like all the story like we get from that. So yeah, it's something that we need to promote, to bring it to adult also. Yeah.
Did you have anything to?
Oh, I don't know if I have anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go with my other question. I have like one big question. It's about the future. And do you have like a big purpose as a puppeteer for your career? Like something you want to achieve, something you said, like, I want to realize that kind of play, or play in front of, what could be the big purpose for CactusHead Puppets?
You know, for me, I think just I love interacting with audiences, and having that feedback between them. We're learning right now, you know, as we're all at home, about ways to connect that way digitally. So we're early in that process ourselves, but we're excited about that. But yeah,
future. Like big
goals.
I feel like for the longest time I had like this idea, like, okay, if I could just be a puppeteer full time, that's what I need or want. And then I was for like a year. And I was like, oh, this is a lot of work and I'm having less fun. And like, it would still be great if all my income came from puppetry, but I really just want to always be able to perform for a live audience.
Yes.
You know, like if I could just be a puppeteer for the rest of my life and perform for people and make them happy, I think that would be enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And go for it. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just getting, like, it would be nice to, you know, perform at like at a festival or get an Unima or something, but it's not. Those aren't the important things, I think, anymore, for me anyways.
Yeah, it's the performance. And you enjoy the live thing. I think we miss it from time. But did you adapt a bit? Because I talked with some puppeteer last week. They adapt totally to do online production or online stuff. And it's also kind of a debate sometimes. Like people said, don't give everything for free. Don't. We have this kind of question going on.
Yeah, it's an important question. We are learning and we are adapting our shows to do some things online. So we've got that coming up in the next few months. Yeah, and it's, you know, we're learning a new system. So I know Puppeteers, a lot of our bookings we were very lucky that people have said, we're going to sponsor you to put it online for us, kind of thing. So that's really great.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that. But yeah, figuring out what Puppeteers' sort of business model is during this time is a tricky new thing. Yeah. So we're all learning as we go.
We were talking about how we both at some point were like, I don't think I'm going to worry about TV puppetry.
That's true.
I think we're just going to focus on the live stuff. That's really where we thrive, Yeah. And then the world happened, and so now we're like, okay, TV puppetry.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's part of being a puppeteer is, new challenges, learning new things, figuring out how to make things work. So
it's the puzzles you were talking about.
Yeah, we're there. So
let's have the puzzle solved.
Yeah.
I want to conclude with puppets, actually. I saw your show. I saw you have wonderful puppet. Maybe you have some of those you want to bring.
I think we have some of the rats.
We have some rats around.
Ready?
For like...
two, 6 feet between. Like at the grocery store. 6 feet. No. I love it so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
And with their mask, this is so funny.
Right.
And these are our rats from the Pied Piper, and we recently made them some masks so they can be safe.
Yeah, it's important, Rats are a disease vector. We got to keep them safe, Very important.
It's in everybody's best interest.
I love it.
Exactly, yes.
I love it. Amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
It was wonderful to have the first rat online in the podcast at CactusHead Puppets. Amazing. I love your work. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So I wish you the best for the online puzzle to solve. And we wish that we will have a big, at some point, events for all puppeteers and get back together. And
someday in the future.
In the future. Yes. So everyone, thank you to have been there. We have someone. Yeah. I just read. You don't see it, but I see some comment of people. So it's kind of really good to see someone say, "We need art again, like old movie and theater. We need that." So it's. I agree, Viviana. Thank you very much. And join us again for other episodes. We still have so much good stuff coming in, and just stay tuned because we are about to release a website. So it will be amazing to see all the stuff online and on one spot. So it's
exciting,
coming. So yes, let's keep working. So have a good evening. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks.
And enjoy and see you in the future.
In the future.
Hey, bye.